Hello everyone, Gramsy here and welcome back to another Thicc Thursday, the best source for your weekly VR news, just juicy facts and stories presented in an easily digestible way for your virtual reality needs. This week we have some massive news from Meta on new Project Cambria details, just what exactly is city-scaled augmented reality, and a man tapes a Quest controller to a bicycle. All that and so much more. Let's dive into this, shall we? The Arpara 5K is an interesting little VR headset with some ridiculous ocular specifications. 5120 by 2560 combined resolution micro OLED displays and partnered with a Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2, this little standalone headset could be poised to be a premier gaming standalone option. Unfortunately, the company has been marred by setback after setback. Originally slated on their Kickstarter for release in March of this year, the company has been forced to continue delaying the launch of the device, citing quality control concerns, supply chain problems, and ongoing pandemic restrictions in China. The Hong Kong-based company has already delayed the device up to 2 months past launch, and while they are still aiming for a May release, it is looking like it could be delayed even a little bit further. While Arpara hasn't specifically cited any further delays, they did release an update on their Kickstarter this past week indicating they're still busy at work troubleshooting issues with the headset's Bluetooth module and their Arpara VR Assistant app. I can't say specifically for sure whether it will be delayed for sure further or not, but I'd estimate that while backers may still be close to getting their headsets, it is also possible they'll have to wait just a little while longer. Manus, the company behind the insane futuristic sci-fi looking quantum Metagloves that were showcased at GDC this year, have finally launched pre-orders for their wild looking magnetic hand tracking gloves. While the models showcased at GDC did not include any type of haptic feedback, Manus has stated that they are currently developing a version that includes full haptic feedback in addition to the magnetic full hand and finger tracking. The enterprise-oriented gloves start at a whopping 9,000 American dollars or 7,500 euros and include a 2-year warranty, and Manus is expecting the gloves to start shipping out sometime in September of this year. While these are admittedly a bit out of my price range, I absolutely love the crazy and wild sci-fi tech that has been coming out over the past couple of years in the VR space, and I cannot wait to see how this may trickle down to the consumer market. Catwalk, the renowned omnidirectional treadmill company, is taking another dive into crowdfunding to get backing for their next VR treadmill, the Catwalk C2. And I gotta say, I'm kind of salivating over this one. The original Catwalk C looked super interesting, but it had some pretty well-known issues. Problems with awkwardness walking due to the counterintuitive, unergonomic design of the walking basin, and issues with excessive wear on the shoes, which are required for use with the treadmill. The C2 aims to improve on some of those previous designs, making the shoes more robust, increasing the ergonomics on the basin, adding a wide range of free motion movements, including hanging and sitting, and overall further general optimization improvements makes getting this omnidirectional treadmill for maximum immersion more appealing than ever. The early bird Kickstarter backers can actually pick up a brand new one as early as July for just $698 plus delivery for a limited time, with the price increasing as availability becomes more restricted. And I don't know guys, I might just have to sell one of my kidneys for this one because I don't think I can resist any longer. But now it's time for this week's THICC SNACC. Check out this crazy looking game YouTuber and Redditor Valem created using the Quest 2 SDK and turning off the Guardian boundaries. By taping a Quest controller to his bicycle and rendering a realistic life-sized map in his Quest 2, he was able to ride his bike all the way around this track inside of VR. Definitely not the safest thing you could do with VR, but very clever, Valem. Very clever. Respect. But now, back to the news. So Microsoft is partnering with Volkswagen Group to combine their HoloLens 2 devices with Volkswagen's traditional GPS systems. By pairing the augmented reality device with traditional navigation systems, the HoloLens can assist drivers by providing them real-time navigation and safety information while driving. Now, this is something we've actually seen before in the auto industry as a whole, with companies like Wayride, HoloRide partnering with Audi, but above and beyond that, it doesn't surprise me at all that Volkswagen Group would be partnering with more AR tech companies. Having previously worked for Audi firsthand, I can say with confidence Volkswagen Group has always more or less been on the absolute forefront of cutting-edge technology in their vehicles. In fact, Audi is one of the first mainstream adopters of practical and primitive augmented reality technology in their cars, dating all the way back to about 2011. This really does feel like the natural progression of things. I think there's always going to be a place for gaming and entertainment and AR, but it very much feels like people are going to get the most value and usefulness out of practical and logical AR applications. So seeing this tech make its way into engineering, architecture, construction, and even automobiles and more is what I think we're going to see a lot of in the future. Speaking of augmented reality, what do you think something like a city-scaled or lifelike persistent augmented reality world would look like? I'm talking, what if there was an exact one-to-one augmented reality scale version of New York City that people could experience while walking around New York City? So if two people were walking in the same area of Central Park, they might both be able to look up and see the same hologram in the sky. Well, that's basically exactly what American software company Niantic is aiming to do. Later this month, Niantic is planning to release their Lightship visual positioning system at their developer summit, which aims to form an underlying 3D map of the world so that all devices can share the same frame of reference even on massive scales. This means that they would essentially create a 3D augmented reality version of the world that could then be uploaded to any AR device globally and be used by anyone at any time. I guess originally Niantic considered GPS for this because it was already a relatively cheap and existing technology, but the problem with GPS is just how inaccurate it can be, and they needed something that offered, quote, centimeter precision. This is kind of giving me flashbacks to SAO's ordinal scale. I mean, can you imagine just walking up to a stranger on the streets and teaming up to defeat a random raid boss in Central Park? Absolutely wild. But now it's time for your VR game of the week. Blade and Sorcery is the critically acclaimed hack-and-slash beat-em-up sandbox VR game that lets you cleave, fireball, or whatever this is your way to victory. The game just released its U11 beta, offering massive improvements to graphics, general overall optimization, huge improvements and additions to the magic system, and just much more. To see the changes for yourself, check out SoulBC's recent Blade and Sorcery video. Link will be in the description down below. But now, back to the news. Well, here it is. Finally, the moment everyone has been waiting for. The headset that has everyone at the edge of their seats. It's Project Cambria's mixed reality pass-through. But wait, it isn't technically Project Cambria. Okay, legally and technically it isn't Project Cambria, but like, why did they put a mosaic over it? I get that they probably had to do it from a legal standpoint, but like, we all know this is Project Cambria. There's already official leaked 3D renders of the damn headset. Why all the secrecy? In any case, Mark Zuckerberg posted a video Thursday morning taking a dive into some of the mixed reality aspects of Project Cambria and showcasing some of its full-color RGB pass-through tech, and it definitely has my interest piqued. It's certainly not the mind-blowing info I think I and half the VR world at least were expecting, but it will do. Additionally, in the video, Mark talks about releasing an App Lab demo very soon called The World Beyond, which will be coming at the release of version 40. According to the Zuck himself, The World Beyond will be totally open source, so anyone can start playing and building with it immediately upon release and begin developing the future of mixed reality entertainment. But that's it. That's all the time we have this week, everyone. If you're still watching right now, I appreciate you way more than you will ever never know. Remember to punch that like button if you thought this video was informative, subscribe if you want to see more of it next week, and hit that notification bell if you just cannot stand missing out on these oh so sweet dummy thick VR news clips. I love each and every one of you beautiful feather muckers. Until next time, Gramsy out.